Hi, I'm Amber Hargrove, and I'm going to speak with you about the true meaning of leadership. By the end of my speech, I want to inform my audience about the meaning of leadership and 3 ways it can be understood. Why do you think being a great leader is necessary? Well, history speaks for itself, mentioning great battles and wars that were won by having strong leadership. But you can right now look around and say that you can be the next best leader and strongest. With these simple tips, this can help you to understand the importance of leadership and what steps are necessary to be taken to become a strong leader. I learned the importance of leadership when I was 13 years old, and I played the starting point guard for a freshman basketball team. Wow, what a wake-up call that was. I realized that every move I made reflected on my team with each play that I called. They would position themselves in place. After the game, I understood the importance of being a leader. But from then on, I wanted to be not only a leader, but a great leader, and have the strong leadership abilities when necessary. So I joined the Army, and 4 years later, I became a non-commissioned officer, which in the Army's eyes is known as a leader. Not only are you required to lead soldiers as a non-commissioned officer, you are there to help and support soldiers physically and mentally tough. Leading soldiers into battlefield and keeping them safe shows true leadership to the fullest. By understanding these 3 points I'm going to mention can help you start to understand the true meaning of leadership with these simple words: be, know, and do. Okay, let's go ahead and mention be. Be the leader you're meant to be, if it's at work or just on a basketball team. But you must remember, a lot of leadership skills have to do with being confident in yourself, believing and knowing you can accomplish any mission or task given to you at any time. So stop what you're doing for a second and look around. Do you see any good leaders at work or at school? If so, then great. But if you think your work needs a better leadership, then take a step forward. It could be you. Okay, so we covered taking step forwards into leadership. But what has been famously quoted by a famous English author, Sir Francis Bacon, from the 16th century? He quotes, "Great powers become great responsibility." That means all eyes are on you. You have to uphold the standard by living with values. Here are some examples of Army values that can be used in the civilian world as well. They start with loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and my favorite, personal courage. Now that we have covered the values, I would like to share a quote from Noel Tichy, a professor from University of Michigan Business School. He read the book Be, Know, Do. Funny, huh? It's actually written by General Eric Shinseki. After reading this book, he added, "Great leaders develop leaders at all levels who lead with integrity and values. Leaders who are able to take action and can make things happen. They are true leaders." That quote sums up leadership and the abilities capable of a true leader. Now remember, be what you must, be what you can do. And that, my friend, is a true leader. Okay, now that we've covered be, let's move on to know. Know. Knowing you are capable of strength and knowledge can put you in front. Remember what Sir Francis said. He said knowledge is power. And that is true, but you must make it beneficial for you as a leader. By learning everything in your job area can build confidence in you, and it will demonstrate how hard you work, showing true dedication to put you in that perfect job. Remember, know is about knowing your job, yourself, and know what difference you can make. Okay, so let's talk about this. We covered be, we covered know. Let's discuss do. Do can be categorized into 3 elements according to the U.S. Army Standard in Army Regulation 22-100. It states they are influencing, operating, and improving. Let's talk about influencing for a second. Influencing is what communication, decision-making, and motivating is. How many times at work or home have you heard someone else make a decision on what type of things are going to change at work or school? And how many of you had better ideas that would make work easier or just improve it? Well, that's what influencing is. You can express your opinions or ideas to make change happen. Influencing them to do it. Alright, let's mention operating for a second. Consists of planning, executing, and assessing. Well, when you hear the word executing, what comes to mind? When I think of executing, I think of what needs to happen to accomplish the task at hand. Here's a funny story I'd like to share with you. When I arrived at my first duty station in Fort Carson, I was new in the unit. So the sergeant thought it would be funny to test my knowledge and see what I was capable of. So the sergeant asked me to find him a box of grid squares. Well, a box of grid squares I've never heard of, and I'm new, so of course I'm going to try to accomplish the mission. So I go in the supply room and I look for a box of grid squares. I'm looking around, going through everything, thinking these sergeants are really going to judge me if I don't get this done. And then I come across an old map, and I realize that there's no such thing as a box of grid squares. So I took the old map, I cut each individual square, put it into a box, and I handed it to my sergeant. From that point on, my sergeant never questioned me, and he knew I would accomplish any task at hand, even when it's not even real. It made me feel so good about myself because it gave the sergeant's faith in me that I can accomplish any task at hand. So, we covered influencing and operating. Let's discuss improving. Improving is as it sounds. Improving the organization, improving your work environment. While improvements are always almost necessary, you could use them in terms as developing, building, and learning. Even personnel at work sometimes need improvements. So ask someone if they need help, or even just see if you can give them a different perspective on a tasking. So, we covered be, know, and do. And just remember, using be, know, and do techniques for understanding true leadership will help you tremendously. Give it a chance. So try something new and put your leadership skills to the test. I'm Amber Hargrove. Thank you for listening to my speech.